Yes, yes, yes. Yes to the universe. Thank you, God, for everything you give me. Yes, and I accept. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Learning the Process podcast. We are your host. I am Yanko, and with me always is the most intelligent Marcos Ramos. And how you feeling today, brother?
Yo, I'm feeling great, man. You know, had a very productive week. You know, had a lot of challenges, and to the grace of God, I was able to, endure, get through it with patience, and I feel very accomplished.
There you go. Like I said at the beginning, say yes to the universe. Thank you, God, for everything you give me. Yes, I accept your challenge. So, my brother Marcos, this is something I've been thinking about, and it's something that I struggle with. And obviously, instead of just calling you on the phone and asking you, how can I deal with this and how, take your advice and guidance, I'm going to ask you on the podcast.
That's awesome. There you go. Put it on the table for the world to see. Let's go.
Procrastination, bro.
Oh, yeah,
bro,
yeah, man.
I'm dealing with that right now. And I know that you've accomplished a lot because you overcome those challenges. And, I was like, who better to ask than someone who always steps up to the challenge and overcomes? So that would be you. So, for me, sometimes I get stuck and I don't know what to do. And I feel like I'm procrastinating, that I should just do it, but I don't know what to do. So for me, that's where I'm at right now. Like I want to do something, but I'm stopping myself. And I know that's procrastination, but I don't know why. So what do you have to say about?
Well, look, I've gotten better at fighting against procrastination. However, I'm not perfect at it. For me, this is a situation where it's just a part of the process of life. There's certain things where you're gonna crush it and you're gonna execute and you're gonna be on point and do it. And there's certain things that really matter to you, that you hold dear to your heart, and you just want to do this, but you just can't find the strength and energy or whatever it is that's standing in your way, the strategy that you need to be able to execute whatever plan you have. You know what I'm saying? So, not knowing our next step, sometimes, what's the next step you're going to take? Like, do you have a plan in place? Are you following along with the plan in place? Is life happening? Because life happens, right? We have children. We have responsibilities. How can we fit in these specific goals where everything else is in the way? You know what I'm saying? How can we strategize with all these other things that are happening? Because you have to continue to live your other responsibility, right? Yes. While trying to achieve a specific goal, all right? And how do you do it in a manner where, you still have what is sustainable, right? That it's not taken away from your other responsibilities, right?
Man, that's tough because for me, and you just mentioned something that just hit me like a bag of bricks, is that it's not knowing the next step and then wanting all the steps to already be there for me, And I think because you mentioned it, I'm like, yes, that's definitely what it is. It's me wanting to know the steps ahead of time before I take them. And now, talking to you, I'm realizing it. I'm like, oh, damn, that's what it is. I don't know what the steps are, and I'm waiting for me to know the steps before I take them.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's definitely not helping me right now. So.
Yeah, I'm with you, yo. Yo, like one of my struggles when it comes to trying to achieve a specific goal that causes me to procrastinate is that I have too many goals. I want to do too many things. An idea pops up and I'm like, oh, let me try this real quick. But I already have too much on the plate, right? And it's very hard for a human being to do too many things, especially when you're doing it alone, right? Now, if you had a team of people, you could divide and conquer. But when they're like personalized goals, right, it becomes more difficult because you have no assistance and you have to and we have to be like, I have to be mindful and aware of what I have to prioritize specific goals for. You know what I'm saying? What is it that I want to achieve? Is it important to me? Will this make my life better? And what am I willing to sacrifice and give up to get to this one thing? Because you can't do 10 things. You cannot really do one thing and focus all your energy on that one thing for a season, right? Or 2 seasons, or a year, or 2 years. You know, depending of how long you think this goal will last, and how far do you want to go at this goal. Like for example, some people I'm a health coach, so some people want to lose weight. So, and I'll give you an example. There might be a person who is 230 pounds at the moment. However, this person is a female. This person is 5'2", right? So you got a person that's 5'2", very short, who's carrying 230 pounds. Normally, that person should be probably at, let's say if the person had children, right? Maybe this person's supposed to normally be at, maybe the person was 130 pounds when they were like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But when they had children, they probably ate too much food. Having children changes your body.
Yes.
You reach a point where you're like really feeding your body, and then you just became complacent, and then 2 years passed more, and now your 130 is 230. Somehow you got here.
Wow.
It happened, right? Now, how to reverse that, right, is going to take a plan. And it's going to be a realistic plan, right? So depending on your height and how much weight you need to lose to get to a specific, because you're not going to be 130 no more, especially even when after you had children, your body has changed. So maybe you could add like maybe 10 more pounds or 15 more pounds to your weight. So maybe 145 or 150.
150, yeah.
Right? And now you have to see, okay, if I lose 2 pounds per week, how many weeks will it take for me to accomplish this drop 230? From my mathematics in my head, I will believe it will take the person probably over a year, maybe a year and a half, safely, slowly, and considering that in between that goal, there's no perfection from 1 week to the next. Hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to drop 2 pounds per week. Like, no, number one, your body's going to drop as many pounds as the size you could drop, right? Number two, life is going to happen, right? There's going to be a birthday party. There's going to be
Christmas, Thanksgiving. There's
going to be a personal struggle, a challenge. Something bad is going to happen in that year and a half.
That's right.
Right? It could be a death of a family. It could be somebody got hurt. It could be your own health. I got sick. I got caught the flu. I'm off the game for the next 2 weeks.
Shit.
So you have to take all these things into consideration. So you might have to add a few more weeks on top of that to actually for you to be able to reach that healthy weight with a specific plan, knowing you have to put reality into it, right? Because it was not going to be perfect.
That's right.
So an example is if you have a goal outside of that, you know what I'm saying? You have to take into consideration what curveballs could happen. You have to make time. The curveballs are going to happen. It's going to stop you from being able to sit down at a desk and do something you want to do, like learn a specific skill set that you have to read a book and you have to go online and study, right? So these are things that happen, and like I said, not knowing my next steps, overthinking the outcome, having too many goals, right? So these are things you need to take into consideration as far as planning.
See, that's why I was like, let me ask Marcos. And I was thinking about this, and I said, it would make sense to just ask you, during the filming of the taping of our one episodes, because that way I'm like, I know he's going to know why. I mean, especially being, a personal trainer, that is one of the things that I know you had to deal with clients that, especially when it comes to losing weight, that is a humongous obstacle for a lot of people. So I know that, when you have a client that you've been training them for a couple of months, you're going to see the results, whether they're there or not. And you're going to already have, I guess, the answer as to why they haven't progressed, or if they've progressed, further, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I know why. But something you just mentioned is, which I didn't take account of, is the curveballs.
The curveballs.
The curveballs that stop you from attaining or taking a step that day. And when you said that, I'm like, oh, shit. Because that happens to me a lot. Like I want to do something and I'm like, okay, I got to read this book or I got to read this chapter, and then when I'm about to do it, something comes up. And then it just derails me. And then I'll go a couple of days without reading or doing anything. Another thing that, because talking to you, it made me realize too, is goals that I want for myself that don't include other people, I do right away.
Ooh.
I do it immediately, and, with tap dancing, acting, playing bass, doing martial arts, all those things, they don't involve anybody else. That's me. It doesn't involve or it doesn't include and it doesn't depend on the, what's the word I'm looking for? Not approval, but their participation in it. Mm. Because one of the things that me and you are trying to overcome is, I don't want to call it poverty, but not having financial freedom, And now that you're talking about it, now it makes sense for me why, I haven't started a business, because now it depends on people. They have to participate in my goal. And now I'm like, oh, that's why I haven't done that, because it has to do with dealing with other people, and you already know, dealing with people is extremely difficult.
Absolutely.
So I think I'm avoiding the stress of having to deal with people. Like, I don't know any business owners. I don't know anyone who is like an entrepreneur who's actually successful. Because the thing is, I dislike the word entrepreneur, because everybody who doesn't have a job and doesn't have like a steady income, they call themselves an entrepreneur. But they're not creating or providing anything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
So I don't want to use the word entrepreneur, so I don't know anyone who is a successful business, because entrepreneurship is just business. That's all it is. I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, you're a business owner, but what's your business in? And if you're not generating income and you're not providing a product or a service, then how good is your business? So with that being said, I don't know anyone specifically that I can ask, hey, how did you overcome, if they even had the dealings of procrastination. I don't even know. I mean, that's another thing. I would love, we would love to get a business owner, on this podcast. So if you're a business owner, you had to deal with procrastination, or it was something you didn't have to deal with, but you know how to deal with people, please, send us a message, write it in the comments, hit us up. We're on IG, Learning the Process Podcast, and let us know, how did you overcome, if you did have to overcome with that. And that's one of the things I have to overcome, is overthinking the stress of, oh my God, I got to deal with all these people, because my success, if I open up a business, will depend on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see? So
yeah, opening up a business is tough to do by yourself. So you need a team. If I work for a company, for a real estate developer who had a lot of businesses, and I worked for one of his specific business, and it took a huge team to be able to operate that business. And it will only be successful if we work together. And each team had different departments, all right? And each department collaborated. One way or another, we had to talk to each other every single day, because there was something specific that I needed from them. There was something specific information they needed from me, all right? And that allowed us to always push forward, move forward, strategize together, problem solve anything that stood in the way, challenges, frustrations, misunderstandings, all that stuff. You know, it came into play, and that's all these little things made us better to be able to find solutions. You know what I'm saying? And it's better to have multiple mindsets looking at one specific thing, because you get different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Something that you're not seeing, that person could be seeing. And that gives you that aha moment, like you and me just started this conversation, and you had a couple of aha moments. Why? Because you and me came together, putting our minds together, and we're going to figure this out together. And that's why it's so more successful when you do things with other people.
That's right.
Even like exercising, I exercise by myself 9 times out of 10. But when you and me used to work out, it was 20 times better, because I'm crushing my goal, and it's therapy session, bro. At the same time, bro, I'm like venting my life to you, letting you know, misunderstanding between me and the girlfriend at the time, or things that I'm dealing with at work, and I'm just vomiting my information while we're crushing it. You know what I'm saying?
Four plates.
Exactly, yo. So it's like, it shows that working as a team is just there's a more success rate when you're connecting with another person and achieving goals together, yo. Even when you're doing something by yourself, it's important to get feedback from somebody else. When you get stuck, hey, I'm stuck with this thing, I just can't figure it out. You expressing your idea to that person, there's a chance that they might make you deeper into yourself, and their answer might not even be the one you're looking for. But the answer they gave you might make you rethink of how you were seeing it. And be like, oh, okay, just make you rethink, That's all it is.
Yes, you're so right. And again, now I had another aha moment, which is whenever I get stuck, I'm gonna hold my question, write it down, and then wait till we start shooting, we start filming. And I'm just gonna ask you in real life, in real time. Online, or while we're shooting. So I just had another aha moment, which is funny because I'm always having aha moments when I ask you, because I stay in most of all my decisions is just me. Yeah. I don't check with anybody else.
Yeah, you just have your own Zoom meeting, your own. Me, myself, and I have a big board member meeting.
Yeah.
Consult with yourself. That's it.
It's a committee of one.
Yeah, it's a committee of one. There you go. That's the word I was looking for.
And it's true. Like every time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I don't consult with anybody. Yeah. I just go. Yeah, and that's I'm not saying that's a good thing. Whether it's healthy or not, but I definitely know that a lot of things that I do, in which I do crush it and I do accomplish, I don't need anybody else's participation in it, So, and it's funny because in those things, I crush it. I don't have no problem, acting, playing bass, joining bands, tap dancing, martial arts, because it's all dependent on me.
Yeah.
It's just me. I have to do this. I have to get up and I got to physically, and I don't need to involve anybody else, like going to a school to do something, the school's already there. You don't have to build the school to then learn how to do the thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
So for me, all those things in which I want to accomplish for myself that don't involve and don't depend on anybody else, I can do with no problem.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this one thing, because I think me and you, we're at that point where it's like we have everything that we can possibly accomplish as, I don't want to use the word poor, but what's the word I want to, financially challenged. I'm going to use the word financially challenged, because we're not poor and we were never poor. That's the thing. We were never poor. We always had food. We had somewhere to sleep. We had friends, tons of experiences that our childhood, we would never be able to recreate. And I don't think any childhood after us would be able to recreate. So as far as poor, we were never poor.
Yeah.
We were just financially challenged.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to overcome the challenge. Now, don't get me wrong. We've made micro improvements in our lives since our teenage years to where we are right now. I'm way more wealthier now than I was at 21. You know what I'm saying? So right now, it's just, okay, how do I get over the hump, you know, of being more financially successful than I am right now, you know? And one of the things that I've learned that it's either a service or a product. And that's where I'm stuck at right now. I mean, I'm still, again, just trying to figure it out, you know? But that's where my procrastination is literally holding me back. It's like, okay, what's the next step, you know, to overcome being financially challenged?
For me, my thing is just being patient. I need to like learn to be patient. Like sometimes I find myself falling back because I want it to happen so fast. Right? So I'm learning today that, you know, my impatience can cause me to procrastinate in specific things. You know what I'm saying? So like right now I'm investing a lot in my future and in business and stuff like that. And because of that, my money's not as great as I want it to be. But this investment that I put in has value in it. But because my bank doesn't look good as my investment because all the money isn't there,
that's right.
I'm like, I'm putting more mind in what the paper in my account looks like than the actual physical establishment that exists.
Yes.
Right? And that's causing me to get scared. It's causing me to worry. It's causing me to think about the future. It's causing me, what if I hit a roadblock where everything just goes south? But of course, that's just fear.
Yes.
That is just fear that, you know, as a human being, is normal to think like that. However, it's your responsibility, my responsibility, not to feed into it and stay there too long. So I'm realizing that it's like when you mentioned micro, I make micro movements now. I make sure I do something every single day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So what I realized about myself is that I have to be, you know, I have to be mindful of myself when it comes to the emotional aspect of all this. So, you know, fear of failure, trying to be perfectionism in all my movements, thinking that this is going to get me to my goal. You know what I'm saying? And overwhelming myself. Because I just want to put so much on myself and I want to accomplish so much. You know what I'm saying? So emotionally, where you feel you're at with all.
Damn emotions. Those damn emotions. Damn you, emotions. Man, that fear, bro, that creeps in. You know, doesn't matter how courageous or brave you think you are or you feel you are. Sometimes that fear just, you know, slides in, and then it just, especially if you sit in it too long, like, you know, like you said earlier.
Become discouraged, right?
Yeah. It's like it starts to control everything. It controls the narrative in your mind, and then it controls the narrative in your heart. So what I want to know is, how do you break the cycle of sitting in your, like they say, sitting in your own shit?
Yeah.
How do you break the cycle? Like,
all right. Absolutely. Like, you know, one thing that, you know, now, so basically I found solutions that work for me in my life that allows me to move forward. And one of the solutions I found is being patient. Understanding that I cannot control or project the future. I know I have a plan. I see my vision idea, but I know that every single day will bring something new. And I'm not focusing on the finish line anymore. The finish line doesn't matter to me. I'm trying to understand that I'm having a human experience alive. And my life and my time is limited. I'm only going to live a certain amount of life. One day this is going to end. So I'm trying to make sure that I enjoy the process every single day. Every single day comes with a new process and a new lesson. My understanding is that a lot of these entrepreneurs, people who've made it, suffered so much before you see what you see. And for some people, is what's the material that they have? That's their success.
Yes.
That's how they judge it. Some people see it. Look at their family they have. The love they're surrounded. That's how they judge it. Some people will see the success in their health. Damn, look at me, I'm off. Look, they're so healthy. Look how they look. Look what they look like before. Look who they look like now. Some of them have all three. Perfect look, perfect. The finances is lit. Their environment is amazing. And they have a beautiful, strong family. Like, wow, look at their family. They got all of it. All right? The whole package deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, number one, I'm understanding is, okay, what's success to me, number one? What matters to me in this world? Is it the material? Is it family? What is it? Is it what I look like? You know? And then I started focusing on what matters to me the most. And I started making sure that I have to be careful with, the materialistic and what is not really beneficial to my life, because we're all different.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And I also started focusing on just really being patient. Like I said, it's about living the experience every single day. And I'm learning that as I'm moving slowly and creating these good habits is how I'm actually feel more at peace with myself. I have more patience. I'm more calmer. I'm not stressing things. And when things come around me that try to stress me out just because of my goal, I really like, yo, hold on. Chill. It's not that serious. You know, I put a pause.
Yeah.
I take a break. But I make sure that I try to do something every single day. And one of the things I do is I calendarize everything.
Okay.
Right? I set a goal for the day. And I put it each in order. For my number one thing is, once I get off of bed, I drop down to my knees. I'm a Christian. I get down. I pray to my God, Jesus, you know. And after that, I kind of do my coffee, get myself prepared. You know, the second thing I do is that I go read scriptures. You know, so now I pray to my God, and then the second thing I do is that I feed my soul with the fruit of the Spirit. Mm-hmm. You know, His Word is food. Okay. So I read and nourish my mind with wisdom and understanding. You know, one of the main places I get that is from Proverbs in the Bible. A lot of wisdom and understanding there. So I listen to wisdom. I listen to an audio, or I sit down and I read it and I learn. And it's very short. Mm. I do like if I listen to Proverbs, literally it will be like a minute and 30 seconds in audio. So it's just talk it and I listen and then I move on.
Yeah.
Or I'll grab the Bible and I'll read a passage and I see what highlights, because sometimes when I read it, it reads my life. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, wow, that's interesting. I wasn't aware of this. I'm going to make sure I implement it into my life. Then I move on. Okay, schedule in. Like look at my calendar to see what time I got to train my clients. I make sure I schedule in my workout. That's probably the third thing I do is I work out, and then I'm pretty much fasting all the way to the afternoon. But I log all this information in. Every time I got to train my clients, I log this in. If I have anything to do on the email, I'll log in. So one of the things I do is, I'm a fitness trainer, mm-hmm. but I'm also a building manager. That's so right. I log in. Building management. Now, I don't put time on these things. The only time I put a time is when it's come to my clients.
Yes.
This is the time I'm meeting my client. Whether I'm training them online or I'm physically training them or I'm going to a place to train clients. The rest of everything, the rest of the day, I don't put a clock on it. Why? Because to me, that's not realistic. I can't, at 11 o'clock in the dot, I'm going to do this, because sometimes curveballs happen.
Yes, sir.
So how am I going to meet that 11? And that used to stress me out when I wasn't on point. And I was like, I'm going to start doing that. I'm not going to limit myself to a time frame unless I have to. Like I have to be somewhere by a certain doctor's appointment by this time. Even that is not real. Because once you get there early, and it's still not your turn.
You sit around waiting.
Sit around waiting. So it's not reality either.
That's right.
Right? But if you have a Zoom meeting at 9 a.m., that's like, everybody's showing up for that Zoom meeting at 9. That's not 9 times out of 10. That's pretty accurate.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? If you have to catch a flight at a certain time, you better be on time for that flight. See, those are things you could really put extreme time and effort on those things. But for most everything else, I do not put a hard time on these tasks. I just I just put them in, and in whatever order I can knock them out, I knock them out. But I knock them. I make sure my day doesn't end without knocking them out. And I don't have to put 1 hour of this. No, but I'm putting something in. It could be 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to make sure that my brain every day is getting something. Because if I build a gap between it, oh, I'm gonna skip this, I'm gonna do this every other day, my brain just doesn't register it like that. For it to stay there, I have to be consistent every single day.
That's right. All right, man. So being able to put everything into a calendar and keep a steady schedule, and then stick to it. And you're right. Sometimes I do that too, where I try to put a specific time on a task, and the task goes way longer than that, task. And then if you stick to the time, then the task doesn't get finished.
Yeah.
So, well, there you have it, folks. This is this was a good episode. This was a good topic. So, learning the process of overcoming procrastination and dealing with procrastination. And, we're humans, and, human beings have to deal with that, which is, procrastination is not laziness, but it is a struggle that we deal with mentally and emotionally. So, it is part of the process of being a human. So that's why we talk about these things, that is all about learning the process of how to live life and be able to do it as positively as possible, without falling into the pitfalls that, life throws at you, which are curveballs. You can stumble and trip, but you also got to get back up and then keep moving forward. And that's just the process of the life.
That's
right,
right,
Marcos?
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You have any last wise words for our audience?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the reasons why we get to these places, because like anyone else, we read books, and we implement these books that we read, and it's important for you to find out that there's a lot of information out there that can help you get there. One of the great books that me and Yanko have both read is Atomic Habits. It helps you create the habits so you could fight against procrastination.
That's right.
And there's many other books like it, right, that we've read that helped us along the way to figure out all these curveballs and stay more consistent. It's about, it's not about, perfection.
It's about progress.
It's about progress. There you go.
That's right. It's not about perfection. It's about progress.
There you go, yo. So thank you for
listening.
Exactly.
And we'll catch you on the next one. We out.